I would love to be able to see and, show young people and their parents how this thing works. So can we take it for a spin?
Let's do it.
Fantastic.
When you first get in here, this is a simple tutorial walkthrough, right? Pay attention to this, make sure you're keeping this up to date, all of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip all of this. And this is where you build the radar page. We talked about this. This is the foundation. And that little message that I just closed was simply a reminder that this is a live document. You can update this anytime. And all you have to do is put the new information, and then at the bottom you just hit save. Okay. But as you go through this, you can personalize, again, who you are on the field, off the field, right? On the mountain, in this case with my background video, doing some snowboarding, and put in all of the important things for what a coach needs to know. What's really cool, like I said, is in this messaging piece, you can put quotes and things like that. But this third one down, this, like I said, this is direct feedback from you. Why am I ready for the next level? What makes me different or unique, right? And so I want to put that information in there. And then, of course, as you build this, let them know of upcoming events, tournaments, things like that. And then what metrics, what measurables matter for you and your sport, right? So I like to say that this is sport agnostic, because it doesn't matter what sport you play. There's something that is a benchmark, right? So where do you sit on that? And so you put all that in there and you put it all together, and then you build your radar page. And if you want, I can show you what that looks like once it's all built. This is mine. And so when I build all this and I put my emails together that I'll show you in just a second here, all of this is going to be put together and sent out. And a link to this goes out with every email, right? And so different pieces about myself, accomplishments, right? What makes me unique? What would be my highlight video? I don't necessarily have a highlight video at my age anymore. And so I've got, some breath work.
I was going to say, I want to see a highlight of you doing Wim Hof breathing. I've read about that. That's
we can have all sorts of conversations about breathing and all that. That's the other thing that I do is mental performance for athletes. And I actually incorporate breath work a lot into it.
Love that.
And so
I want to
all
ask,
of this.
I want to ask something, because this is, a good area to kind of define this as we go. Would you say then the radar page is almost multifaceted? So it's not only what we pull our emails from, but it's also a landing page specifically for you. Like, this is your athlete
100%.
business card.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because it's more than just a profile, right? Like this is so much good information. And as you build your personal brand, to be honest, then you can have other things, right? There's ways that people can work with you, or in my case down here, I've got a link to the mental performance coaching that I do. And so you can build this out and it can evolve with you, right? It's not like a one and done kind of a thing. And that's what's so cool about it. So you build that foundation, okay? That's all done. Then you jump into the recruiter. And so this is where, like I said, it is literally as simple as choosing a division. And let's say D2, right? And then you see, okay, what's available? Let's go pick a state and we'll see if there's an option.
Let's check D2 in New York, just because I have a couple in my backyard.
Okay. So New York D2 men's basketball is what this is set up for right now. Okay. So when you sign up, you self-select which sport you actually play and you want to work to get recruited in. And so now all I have to do is scroll through and say, okay, let's choose one. Let's do this guy. Now this is that screen where I get information about the school. Do I meet the criteria for testing? Can I afford it if I don't get any sort of scholarship, right? And then if I want to do more research, like I said, I can check out the team website. I can check out their socials. I can see what types of things they're posting, and if that resonates with me, right? All of this information I can do just by simply touching it, right? Check out their Twitter. Easy enough.
This is fantastic. Fantastic.
Right? Boom, there it is. So I can scroll through here. I can see right away that they don't post a lot.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe they're more active on Instagram. Who knows? I don't know. But that's the thing, is I can do all of this research and figure it out, right?
And there you
This
go.
all
They
looks
are
a
more
lot
active
more.
on Instagram.
Yep,
So there you go.
there you go. Okay. And so then if I like everything that I'm seeing, now all I have to do is go and say, okay, who do I want to send the email to? And what's really cool is if I want to do even more research on the specific coach, I can, right? If their socials are public, we have that as well. So you can see those icons for Twitter, for Instagram. So let's just say that I want to email the assistant coach, Jason here.
Perfect.
So all I do is then touch the email. This is where I choose that path. If I have an upcoming event or whatever, let's just say that, and in fact, I actually really like that scenario. Let them know of an upcoming tournament, because this is going to pull information directly from my radar page together. Boom, here it is. Okay, great. I love it. But what I want to show you is if you go down to one of these other routes, now this is that radar page stuff where it's toggled on or off.
And you're literally, so now this is so important to me on the subject of personalization. You are literally choosing what from your radar page ends up in an introduction email to this coach.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And if
okay.
and I leave it all right, let's say, okay, I'm all filled out. I know it's dialed. So I say I want to send the email. And then this is where we ask them, are you sure you want to send the email? And I'm going to, well, yeah, of course. I want to get recruited. I want to reach out, right? So I say, yes, I confirm I want to send it. And this is where we pull them off of our app, embed the tracking. And now I've got an email that I can tweak and change and send, right? So maybe right here, I want to highlight the fact that I was awarded the best athlete in Idaho award, right? Of course I wasn't. But let's say that I did, right? I wanted to call something out specifically. Or let's say that it was your recent win in X tournament, right? Whatever that looks like, I want to personalize it for the school too. I can do that because this is a draft in my own email. And then all I have to do is send it.
And now I want to embed a little bit of strategy here, because this is what I talk about with my recruits. Let's go back to that 5 to 10% that David alluded to before we took this thing for a spin. You have no idea that you did this, David, but you happened to pick Malloy, which is a college literally 25 minutes from where I grew up and went to high school.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
Let's say I'm really interested in Malloy because I want to work in business after I graduate college. And where better in the world to have a business internship than Manhattan, which is literally 50 minutes from Malloy by train.
Perfect.
So I can write my 5-10% might say, I'm really interested in the location of your school, and I would love to learn more about how I can connect with business opportunities in Manhattan. Bam.
I love it. Yes.
How many? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean what people forget sometimes, and by people, I mean young athletes, is that you have to look at life outside of and after the sport. You may get injured tomorrow, right? You may get injured halfway through your career in college and you need to pivot. And so it's important to understand that research incorporates making big person decisions too, just like what you're saying, right? If you want to study business or engineering or marine biology, you should look at and incorporate that into your strategy and your planning.
So now I want you to be able to visualize it, because first of all, thank you so much for the tour. But second of all, this is why this is so important to me. The personalization, the customization, the making yourself an ideal fit for the coach, and not just saying, I think you're a good fit for me. You're going to control what they see about you, what they learn about you. Then you're going to have an option to customize this yourself inside of your own personal email interface on your phone. And instead of taking 15 minutes, it's going to take you 15 to 30 seconds.
Right. Yeah. And then you can track it, right? You can see what you've sent over the past week, month, lifetime, right? And what's cool is if they've interacted with it and they start clicking on things, boom, we highlight that, right? So it stands out so that you can easily kind of follow up on things.
This is fantastic. So if we're talking about, if I'm actually looking at this from a coach's perspective, this is the things I would want my players to be able to do. They're doing something working smart in addition to working hard. They're customizing it. We're making it specific to the player. And then they have the capacity to assess it. So they're going to know who's the most interested and where to strike.
Correct.
Brilliant. This is really, and I'm so happy that you did this, because I think that if there's any, back end user concern, it's like, well, in the age of AI and in the age of mass emails, how are they going to know I'm authentic? And the answer is because it's still in your hands. You're controlling
You
everything.
are in the driver's seat. Yeah.
Right. Oh, this is fantastic. I would ask in this moment, is there anything else about this that you really want to hit on as we wrap here? Because I feel like you've done such a good job showcasing it so far.
Yeah, there's a couple things. One is when they start clicking around, they're showing interest, right? So we actually then pull it into another category called interest, where you can then, it's easier to follow up and you can personalize it even more. So that part of it is super cool, really nice, straightforward. And then from there, this draft email, I like this feature at the bottom. It is launching kind of a base template that's going to pull pieces of your radar page in. But what's cool about this is you can use this if you are a non-traditional sport athlete, right? You could use this for, dare I say, reaching out for potential sponsors, because it already gives a glimpse of who you are, and all you have to do is build on it from here. And so as you use it, there's so many different ways that you can utilize this tool to reach out and get to that next level, whatever that looks like.
This is great. And I think this is, in a weird way, it's a digital cover letter, right? Your film and your film, your highlights, that's still going to be your resume. The way that you talk to coaches on the phone, because obviously you're sending these things to try to get a phone call, try to get further interest, like that's still going to be the meat and potatoes. But this is the way to, to cut your cover letter prep time in, by like 85 to 90%. And that's really, especially for how hard these guys are working at the high school level now, that's really, really important.
100%. Yeah.